Hi, everyone. It's me, Lora Haines, here with JB Training Solutions, and I am so excited that you're interested in the right start. This is a phenomenal workshop. We have actually completely redesigned and enhanced it in the last 3 years because a lot's changed. And what we are finding is what it means to be successful and engaged in your career looks very different today than even a couple years ago. But you might be surprised there's some things that no matter what's going on, they stay the same. So here's what this entire workshop looks like. We cover the importance of trust and credibility. How can you make sure every time you're in a meeting, you're sending an email, you're building a relationship with a coworker, the impression you are creating is, what a great hire. I love this individual. We then talk about the importance of connection and collaboration, how you can make sure that in the relationships you are building, you are paving the way to create an amazing reputation for your career. And finally, the importance of staying curious and proactive. It's really important that no matter how old you are, you feel engaged in your career. And in this particular course, we are going to cover as you are starting your career, as you are starting at a new company, how you can be proactive in feeling like I'm engaged and I feel like this is the right fit for me. So this is what the entire course looks like, but what I would love to do is share with you a little preview of the trust and credibility content to give you a feel for what this course is like. Here's the funny thing about trust. It is all about perception. I like to say it's like temperature in a room. If I walk into a room and I say, "This is freezing in here, I need a sweater," and the person next to me says, "Really? It's hot in here. I want to open up a window." That doesn't change my experience. I'm not suddenly like, you know what? I thought it was cold out, but I guess you're right. I guess it is warm. Perception is reality when it comes to trust. And as you are building your career, the rooms you are in, virtual or in person, the tone you set is either creating a brand of, hey, I'm a great hire, you can trust me, or maybe not. And so, as we look at this first section, it is action packed. And we talk about the importance of this right here. Every company and every culture is different. It is so critical that you read the room and you really try to find what is the right balance for the team you are on. Because you never want to be too casual, but you also don't want to be too formal. And so, what can you do to make sure you're getting to know the culture of your company and you are finding the right balance for your career? We also do a lot of interactive games like this. What's the perception? Right now, rapid fire. What's the perception of the individual in the bottom right corner? It's not uncommon to see chats come in like, oh, they're not paying attention, they're not engaged. And what's tricky is that individual might be really engaged, responding to a leader, responding to a key stakeholder. But if they didn't communicate that, perception can be reality. We take a look at how important it is to keep in mind if you miss a deadline and your workspace looks like this, or your virtual workspace looks like that, perception did we accidentally create? Maybe that we're not organized. What happens if every meeting you're in, your camera's off and no one hears from you either through the phone or chat? The perception you may have accidentally created is you're not paying attention. And this can be really tricky, especially early in our career when we're in rooms where we're not sure what to talk about. We'll uncover that. When it comes to this really critical skill set, we want to uncover some of the biggest ways we are seeing success show up in organizations. And we'll tailor this for whatever is success at your company. When it comes to meeting engagement, virtual or in person, what does success look like? When it comes to email etiquette or even just online chat etiquette, what does that look like? How is your company thriving when it comes to those short messages? And finally, time management. As we look at all three of these, each one of these sections is packed full of success tips. It might be something as simple as, hey, before you send that email, do a quick review. Is it necessary? Is there a better way to communicate this information? Is your ask crystal clear? Could someone read it quickly on their phone and know exactly what you're looking for? Could you read it anywhere? And finally, are the right people in the to or the CC box? We might look at something like this right here. We'll take some polls. We make sure this is really interactive. What do you think based on what you're seeing at your company? Is this tone too formal, too casual, or just right? What about this one? Sometimes it might be perfect. Sometimes it might be too casual. Sometimes this is, yep, this is great. Other times, not so much. We'll talk about the importance of communication, how important it is to get to know your team and really understand when should something be an email or a chat. How do we make sure we're bundling those messages? We are making sure it's not one after another, because every time we receive a message, the task we're working on takes 25% longer. That's a lot. When should we utilize a phone? And if we are utilizing a phone, is it an actual phone call or is it a text message? And if it's a text message, should we let our leader introduce the text? What about emojis? How casual is appropriate? In-person conversations or camera conversations? How do we make the most of that time together? As we look at this, what I love about this course is there is a lot of time built in, space for questions, whether you chat it in, you ask it in person, or you send a private chat, so that you can really say, hey, I've been at my role for a couple weeks or a couple months. I'm actually not sure about this. How do I bring it up? Another key piece of this program is what we call trust buster to builder activities. And we have a lot of them. Here's how they work. We're going to propose a common scenario we see early in someone's career. Maybe it's this one right here. You're bored. You actually have more time on your plate, but you don't know what else you could be working on. And as we facilitate these trust buster to builder activities, they can either be a chat or a breakout. We'll talk through what you don't want to do to set the tone, but then you have a chance to collaborate with your fellow peers and colleagues, network, get to know, or build even stronger relationships to say, okay, if this is you right now, what could you do at your company to make the right impression and the best start? We'll listen to answers, we'll talk through best practices, and then we'll even share some more above and beyond tips and tricks. These are phenomenal parts, and what we consistently see is that individuals say, hey, we love those trust busters. They were really helpful. As we go through each part of this content, we want to make sure that we're pausing strategically as well to say, what's your biggest takeaway? What are you learning? What are you taking away with you? The right start is action-packed. We cover a lot of really key stuff, including trust and credibility, connection and collaboration, and staying curious and proactive. In addition to those trust busters, we also do challenges throughout the workshop, like this one right here. We want to challenge you to ask for feedback on your writing or communication skills from someone you admire. Who knows what you're going to hear? This course is packed full of actionable tips. And what I love is that in that first conversation, we'll make sure that the tone we're hitting is the right fit for your organization. The big takeaways are, remember, perception is reality, and you have an incredible opportunity early in your career to make a great impression in every room you're in. You're part of a team, and the way you build those relationships, communicate proactively, and those mediums you choose can make a huge impact on that team dynamic, and how important it is for you to feel engaged in your career and how you can focus on strengths and building your skills.